Well, hello and welcome back. I'm doing a little deck tech, blowing apart a deck for a buddy of mine who wants to take this to a competition. Now, I'm not going to tell you what type of competition, what the rules are. Let's just say they don't allow soul rings, so you know there's going to be some cards that are not going to be included in this deck. Start off with, it is a Scion of the Dragon deck, which means it's all 5 colors. It's a legendary creature, dragon, avatar, flying, and he has a cool ability of pay 2, search library for a dragon permanent card, and put it into your graveyard. If you do, Scion of the Dragon becomes a copy of that card until end of turn, then shuffle your library. It's 4/4. The whole purpose of this deck is to get Scion out, and of course when Scion's out, then any attacks, or I'm sorry, does he have to attack search library for a dragon card? Put it into your... So he doesn't have to attack. He just has to be on the board, which is cool. But anyway, so like the faster you get him out, the faster you can get out Nicol Bolas. The whole purpose of having Nicol Bolas out is the bottom part here where it says whenever Nicol Bolas deals damage to an opponent, that player discards his or her hand. You get rid of, all the cards. The next thing you want to do is, try to get out Balefire Dragon. It says, whenever Balefire Dragon deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much damage to each creature that player controls. So basically, it's a board wipe. He's got a bunch. He's got 26 dragons and other creatures in here, mostly dragons, that do different things. So if he has, specific needs or specific, something to happen, needs to have a chump blocker out there, he could pull out, well, that's a Drake. He can't pull that one out. Little chump blocker dragon egg, things like that. I'm not going to play with his dragons. I think he plays this deck very well. But he did ask me to kind of help him out, to make it a little faster, the type of gameplay that we're going to be going against. So that's what I did. I'm blowing it apart to kind of help him out, give him a little bit easier. Maybe if he listens to me, maybe it'll work. I can't guarantee anything, when it comes to Commander. You always have somebody out there that's a little bit better, or actually a whole lot better in my case, than me, and they'll just roll all over you. I'm going to the same competition. I'll show you my deck. It's right there. I'll show you my deck later on, but this one's a little bit about his deck. So as you can see, he's got a bunch of dragons. He's got 26 dragons. The mana curve on this one goes from 2 all the way up to 8. With the big bump being at 6, which basically means he has more dragons at the mana cost of 6 than any other number, and more creatures. And the downside of that is you're waiting to get 6 land out, 6 mana out. So you gotta have to, for a mana curve that big with creatures, you definitely want to be able to handle play spells that are going to get you land and play faster. So you want to ramp, and it is a 5-color deck, which makes it a little harder, but because it has green, it becomes easier. He does have some planeswalkers in here, and I'm going to, if you see a card like this basically on its side, it means I'm recommending that it changes out. So for instance, Ral Zarek I would change out, but he's got Nicol Bolas, God Pharaoh, he's got the Ugin Spirit Dragon, he's got Sarkhan the Masterless. He's got Ral Zarek in it, which is the one I would recommend out. Enchantments, I'm not a big enchantments fan, but enchantments, he's got Frozen Aether, Monastery Siege, Darksteel Mutation, and Citadel Siege, Frontier Siege, and Underworld Connections. I actually like these two, Frontier Siege, because it does give you the ability to add 2 to your mana pool. Underworld Connections, pay 1 life, draw a card. I mean, come on. That's just so. These 4 I'd change out. I mean, barring maybe that one because it does affect your opponent's board state. These 4 I would change out. Mana curve on this is 4 to 8. I'm sorry, 2 to 4 with the 4 being the highest. On instants, I'm not touching his instants. They're not bad. I mean, each one of them. Swan Song, Counterspell, you're affecting your opponent's board state. Render Silent, you're affecting your opponent's board state. Read the Runes, you're getting cards. So I'm not having a problem with that. Draw X cards for each card drawn this way. Discard a card unless you sacrifice permanent. So, I mean, you're not drawing that many cards, but you're going to draw some. This is the, sorry, this is the artifacts, the utility artifacts, the mana rocks. Dragon Sword, Darksteel Ingot, Mana Geode, Arcane Signet, Mind Stone, Crawl Space, and Commander Sphere. Dragon Sword, I know it's a Dragon's card, but I would get rid of it. I know it adds one of any color to your mana pool, you know, but it's, you're trying to be fast in this one. So paying 3, paying 3, paying 3, I'd get rid of them. Paying 2, paying 2, paying 3 for this one's kind of hard. No more than 2 creatures can attack each combat. I get that one. It affects all 4 people. Unless you're playing one-on-one, then it's affecting your opponent. Commander Sphere, add one of any color. Okay, I get that one. Sacrifice it, draw a card. So I get that one. But these 3 I would go ahead and drop and replace. I will show you what I will replace those with. Sorceries is another one. He's got a lot of sorceries. And these are the ones I would take out. Primeval Glorious Rebirth, the Great Aura, Tempt with Immortality, which is an awesome card. Shamanic Revelations, and Finality Revelations. These I'd get rid of primarily because of the mana curve being so high in this. Sorceries, there's 14 sorceries. It goes from 2 to 9. You know, 2 all the way up to 9. Well, it was 9. And 5 being the high point. So you have a mana curve in this deck somewhere between 5 and 6. I mean, that's, you gotta pull it back a little bit, just a little bit. So these are the ones I would take out. I'd keep in Treasure Find. I'd keep in Farseek to find, Cultivate to find more, Diabolic Tutor, Explosive Vegetations, Urban Evolution, Obsidian Aid. I mean, if you have to get rid of another one, that would be a good one to get rid of. World at War. Love this card. Wish I had one of myself. This is a great card. And then, of course, Grave Upheaval. Get something back from your graveyard. World at War, I just like it because if you're going in for the final kill and you cast this spell, I mean, you're pretty much kill. You got two attacks. You can attack 2 people. So that one's pretty cool. It says after first post combat main phase this turn, there's an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase. At the beginning of that combat, untap all creatures that attack this turn and then rebound. So basically, you're killing off. You could kill off 2 opponents at the same time if you have the right stuff out. So I do agree with that one. But I would get rid of, these I would toss. Well, not toss, don't get me wrong, I don't toss anything, but I would pull them out. And then, of course, the land base. The land base is the hardest thing. You want it to be fast, so the less tapped lands, the better. These mod lands, I love these mod lands. I think they're great because you get the rare ones that just, they come in as either a blue or a red or a white or a black, or that you don't have to tap and they don't come in and you don't have to pay anything for them. I'm fine with that. Granted, they don't say it's a mountain. Okay, I'm okay with that. So you can't pull it in with a, Farseek or something like that. I thought it turned off. And that's fine. Okay, so you can't pull them in. That's okay. Exotic Orchard gets you any color, and this is 5 colors, so you need any color. Command Tower, you need any color. Haven of the Spirit Dragon is a good one. It's hard. I mean, it's good when it says add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast dragon creature spells. Okay, great. Sacrifice it. You can go and find Ugin if you really need to. Here's Reality. Normally, this is probably the first one that gets strip mined or ghost quartered, or it gets gotten rid of. Fabled Passage. Fabled Passage is a great land. Unfortunately, the downside to it is you can't just tap it and add a colorless. So you have to get rid of it. You really want to get rid of it the first turn. I mean, honestly, you really want to get rid of it the first turn it comes into play. You don't want to be playing the whole, wait till later. Thespian Stage, you're able to make a copy of someone else's land. Ghost Quarters, because you're going to Ghost Quarter someone else's Fabled Passage. These cards I do like, but they're slow. And one of the cards I would replace it with are the new Triomes. And the main reason is it says right here, Swamp Forest Island. It comes in tapped, just like these do. But because it's a Swamp Forest Island, you can find it and pull it out. And yeah, it comes in tapped, but you know what? There you go. There's your, there's the card that it's going to give you mana anyways, the same colors. So I would pull these and put four of these in. And unfortunately, I don't have 4, so I'm going to let him use one of mine. And then the other 3 that I would recommend getting out, I would put in Windswept Heath, Polluted Delta, Guildmage Forum. Now, Guildmage Forum or Zaggothi, if you had more of the fetch lands, put the fetch lands in. The fetch lands are so much better. But I only have those 2, so I'm letting them borrow them. And I would pull those out. Land, these are the lands I'd pull out. This is all, I think this is like 13 basic lands or 14 basic lands. And then he has a couple of dual lands here. These are the ones I would pull out, primarily because you don't want to be paying too much to move forward. So he doesn't need this one because, anyways, he doesn't need it. So I'd pull that one out. Ash Barrens I'd pull out. Esper Panorama is a great fetch land because it does fetch any one of the islands or swamp or plains. Yavimaya Coast, Caves of Korlos, Llanowar Wastes. I would get rid of those just because they hurt you in the long run. And then, of course, Temple of Triumph comes in as a tapped land. And Sungrass Prairie, you have to pay for along with Darkwater Catacombs. You have to pay to get the 2. Which, if you're going to do that, you might as well just put in, these are the other 3 that he had, which actually, they're not bad. I mean, they come in, unless you have 2 or more basic lands, unless you have 2 or more basic lands, unless you have 2 or more basic lands. But they're islands and swamps, plains and island, forest and plains. So you're able to tutor them up. Steam vents. Here's 9 of the pain lands. Okay, yeah, the pain lands because you have to pay 2 for them to come untapped. But you know what? I'm sorry, for you to bring them in untapped. Island Mountain, Island Swamp, Mountain Plains, Swamp Mountain, Forest Plains, Plains Swamp, Plains Island, Forest, Swamp Forest. The only one I'm missing here is Stomping Grounds, and that's because it's in one of my other decks. Not trying to screw them over, just don't have enough to spread. So what I would do with the cards that I would get rid of, for Ral Zarek, it would be Sarkhan Fireblood. He costs 3 instead of 4. And of course he says you get a draw step. You may discard a card, and if you do, draw a card, which is good. And then this other one, add 2 mana in any combination of colors, spend this mana to cast dragon spells. There you go. So I would put that one in. As far as the enchantments, Mana Bloom costs 1 and a kicker, or pay X, and then it comes in with those many X counters on it. You can take them off one at a time, or you can take them off all at once, and then shuffle this back in, back into your hand. I think it is. Yeah, put it back in its owner's hand. So I would put Mana Bloom in. Trace of Abundance costs 2. Remember, it's one of those old ones. I can't remember that symbol, but one of the shards, one of the Alaras. As Naya? No, Boros and green, which is Naya, but Boros and green. Enchanted land has a shroud, so you put it on a basic land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for a mana, controller adds 1 mana of any color to his mana pool. So for 2, you're getting a land that gives you 2 colors. Expedition Map costs 1, pay 2, tap it, sacrifice it, get a card, or get a land, put it into your hand. Doesn't even say what kind of land. Just get a land, put it into your hand. Wanderer's Twig costs 1, pay 1, sacrifice it. You get a basic land, put it into your hand. Rampant Growth, Natural Lure, Sylvan Scrying, Nissa's Pilgrimage, Vessel of Nicaea. Those I would put in just so you have ramp. You need the ramp. You need to find all 5 colors as fast as possible. For the enchantments, Boros Signet, Simic Signet, Gruul Signet. There's 3 artifacts to put it in. Cost 1, gives you 2. It costs you 2 to put it into play, but on turn 3, basically you have 4 land. And then of course, Wildest Dream. Wildest Dream, XX and a green. Return X target cards from your graveyard to your hand. Exile Wildest Dream. I would put that one in because you're going to burn through cards, and people are going to see the dragons. Dragons scare people when they play Commander. Just like we see when we see elves, they scare us. We board wipe a lot. So I would have a couple of ways, and you already have a couple of ways to pull them out. But I'd have a cheaper version. Maybe you only want to pull out 4. maybe you only want to pull out one. So there you go. Turn one card from your graveyard to your hand. Exile. So that's what I'm going to recommend for him to do. It's a great deck. I do enjoy it. I know when he plays it against me, it is brutal to see the interactions. One-on-one, it's a little harder sometimes, but he's pulled it off a few times. But it is a brutal deck when he gets going. That's, it gets going. So if you like this deck tech, let me know. It's actually a really good deck. If you have any questions on it, I'd be happy to help you out. Shoot me a line. Mike, we're going to make this deck work for you, and hopefully you'll get second place. Right behind me. Right behind me. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. Very much appreciate it. And leave a comment down below. Feeds the algorithms. Thank you and have a great day.